Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to give about a minute to let people join the room, and then we'll get started with some announcements. Okay, so welcome to the virtual college exploration for our Illinois students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I have just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off. So the panelists cannot see or hear you, so make sure you're using that Q&A feature. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so please be sure to check out the full schedule at IACAC.org. This presentation is also being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website. So again, IACAC.org. So we're going to go ahead and turn our attention over to our panelists and everyone. I'm going to introduce myself first. Sorry, my name is Anna Shu. I'm an admission counselor at St. Louis University. I am a regional counselor, so I'm based in the Chicago area and work with a lot of our students up here.
Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Tanner. I'm also a regional admission counselor. I'm based in Kansas City, but I also have the pleasure of working with students from Chicagoland, primarily the western and northwest suburbs.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Sapansky. I'm an assistant director for admission at St. Louis University. I am actually based in St. Louis, but I was born and raised in Chicago. And so I also have a territory of Chicago students. So I work with students from the Chicago area.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Alyssa Wedding, and I'm a senior admission counselor also based in St. Louis. I work with students from central and southern Illinois, so like Springfield, Champaign, as well as Carbondale. And then I do have some local Metro East Illinois schools, so some schools that are just right outside of St. Louis in the state of Illinois. So I'm going to give Anna a second to share the screen again, and we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation. Okay, awesome. So if you are looking for a true medium-sized school, St. Louis University might be the perfect fit for you. So we have around 8,000 undergrad students. Our total enrollment with all of our graduate level programs is going to be right above 12,500. So still well below that 15,000 mark, which kind of signals to most students that may be a medium-sized school. St. Louis University was founded in 1818, so we are the second oldest Jesuit institution and the first university west of the Mississippi. So we have many firsts, and that's just one of them. We are a Catholic Jesuit school, which we'll kind of touch on the next slide. And then we have two campuses. So one in St. Louis, Missouri, obviously, and then we do have a full standalone campus in Madrid, Spain. So at SLU, it being a Jesuit Catholic school, the way we educate students is a little bit differently, because one of the biggest pieces of being for the Jesuit priests is educating students as that whole person. So you may hear holistic a lot tonight. You may hear that if you continue to look at SLU. So that means educating students both academically, socially, spiritually, as well as physically, truly getting that whole, becoming a more well-rounded individual. We truly strengthen our students as leaders and critical thinkers. So students are doing a lot of service work. They're highly involved in a lot of clubs and organizations on campus and within the city of St. Louis and even around the country and around the globe. And then one of the ways that we kind of set us apart from other Jesuit institutions and really hone in on the morals and the ideals of being a Jesuit school is with Within the past year, our student, staff, and faculty have completed over 1.98 million hours of service work. So again, that's within the city of St. Louis, throughout the whole United States, as well as the entire world. One of the biggest questions that we get out on the road is, what is a Billiken? People are constantly wondering what our mascot is. St. Louis University is the only school in the country that has the Billiken as our mascot. Some of the answers that we get most often are the Billiken is a troll, he's a warlock, I've gotten like a dragon or a winged pig, some really out there explanations of what they think a Billiken is. And the Billiken is a good luck charm. So he truly stands for the way things ought to be. And he is, and I think I'm skipping some slides. I'm sorry about that. Am I skipping some slides? No? Okay, the Billiken is a good luck charm, and he truly stands for the way things ought to be. The way he became our mascot is in the early 1900s. A woman in Kansas City started drawing up the Billiken, and he became a fad of the time. So he was on belt buckles, tradable cards, posters, really anything and everything. Also around that time, St. Louis University had a football team that was coached by a man named John Bender, and some sports journalists in St. Louis discovered that Coach Bender resembled a Billiken, so not the greatest compliment, I don't think. He had pointy ears, just a little bit of tuft of hair at the top of his head, and he was a little bit rounder, and they started to refer to the football team as Bender's Billikens, and then he became our official mascot in 1911. At SLU, our students truly embody what it means to be a Billiken, and you can truly be a Billiken on our campus, being very unique, coming from different cultures, different backgrounds, with different experiences. And then kind of going into a little bit more about St. Louis University. So our average class size is 26. A lot of your classes will have no more than 40 students in there. When I was a student at SLU, some of my classes had less than 10, with I think the smallest one being about 4. And then a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And then about 99% of our professors have the highest degrees in their field. So not only are you able to get to know them one-on-one, they're going to know your name, you will know them on that level as well, but they're very knowledgeable and passionate about what they're teaching you. Last year, our incoming class had an average GPA of a 3.91. The middle of 50 usually starts around a 3.5, going to around maybe a 4.0, 4.1. And then we are in a Division I school. So we have 18 Division I sports teams that compete in the Atlantic 10. I believe we have around 10 women's and about 8 men's. We have every sport except for football. So football may not be an option to watch at SLU. And then we also have over 150 clubs and student organizations on campus. So if you're looking for different programs and different majors, St. Louis University has a lot to offer. So we have 90 undergraduate programs to choose from, anything within the College of Arts and Sciences, like biology, chemistry, to engineering and aviation, so if you're looking to become a professional pilot. And then we have a variety of minors and concentrations that you can choose from as well. What's great about St. Louis University is all of our programs are direct admit. So when you're applying to SLU, you're applying directly to the program of study that you're interested in, and you'll have the potential to be admitted directly into that program as well.
All right, I am going to take it over from here to talk a little bit about campus and our campus life. So our main campus is located in Midtown St. Louis, which is the Theater Arts District. And what you're looking at right now, oh, if you could go back just a slide for me, Anna, thank you so much. What you're looking at in this photo is the center of campus. So this is students crossing Grand Boulevard, which is the only road that goes through campus. While we are an urban campus by definition, we very much have that traditional enclosed campus feel. So you are not wandering city blocks looking for SLU buildings all of them are very easily identifiable. As I said, we are located in Midtown, which is the arts district. So we're right by the Fox Theater as well as Powell Symphony Hall. Just about a mile down the road is our Health Science and Medical Center, which is home to SLU's medical school. And we just opened a new hospital that is twice the size of the original hospital. So I like to kind of call this Hospital Row, because we have the old hospital as well as the new hospital right next to each other, and a pediatric hospital that is right next to that as well. So we really do have everything right next to each other. We also have a second campus in Madrid, Spain. So you can attend our campus all 4 years. You can attend the Madrid campus all 4 years, excuse me. So you can go there for 2 years and then transfer back to the St. Louis campus, or you can treat it like a traditional study abroad program. In addition to our own campus, we have about 45 SLU approved study abroad locations. So what that means is that you can study in all these places, your tuition, scholarship, financial aid, all of that stays the same while you study abroad. And we are a very study abroad friendly campus. About a third of our students will go abroad at some point. I do want to touch briefly about living on campus, but we have some students here who can talk about their experience as well. So we do require first and second year students who live outside a 25-mile radius of campus to live in the residence halls for their first 2 years. And you will really find that your residence hall style and preference is defined by what kind of bathroom you like. So we have suite style halls, Jack and Jill style, and community style halls. So what is there to do on campus? Alyssa alluded to some of this. So as she mentioned earlier, we have 18 Division I sports. We are part of the Atlantic 10 Conference. In addition to that, we have 30 club sports and 50 intramural programs. So there are many ways to be involved in athletics, even if that just means being a fan and going to the games. We have Shavitz Arena located on campus, which is where our home basketball games are played, as well as our women's volleyball games. If you're not into athletics, that's okay. We have 150 student organizations. They run from culture, government, media, sports, service, Greek, and more than that. I can't list them all. If you are interested in Greek life, we have 7 fraternities, 7 sororities, and 10 multicultural fraternities. About 20% of students participate in the Greek community. What is great about Greek life at SLU is we don't have any official Greek housing on campus, so it's a much more casual approach to Greek life. If you want to be involved, great. They definitely have a presence on campus. If that's not something you're interested in, that's okay, because about 80% of our students are not involved in Greek life. So it is this really nice balance. Now, to address the elephant in the room, just for a minute, I just want to talk about how SLU is approaching coronavirus from 2 different angles. So as we are a Jesuit university, part of our mission is cura personalis, or care for the whole person. And this has really been our driving concept for our community during fall 2020. We are in person, but to keep our campus safe, everyone is required to wear masks. In-person events larger than 10 people have been canceled, and students have the option to be entirely online for the semester if they want. So those are just a few ways that we're working to keep our students healthy while also keeping up with that quality education that we provide each year. And then not only are we working to keep our campus community safe, our faculty researchers, along with some of our students, are exploring ways to extend cura personalis outside of the SLU community. So we are currently working on human vaccine trials, how to identify and track outbreaks, and identifying guidelines for infection prevention as well. Don't want to spend too much time on it, but did want to let you know what we are doing in these crazy times.
Fantastic. So now I will talk about how you can actually become a BILLIKEN. We have 2 different ways for you to apply. You can apply via the Common App or the SLU application. Both of them are online and they are absolutely free. What we need for you to complete in order for your application to be considered for review is your application, your essay, and your official transcripts. We are test optional this year, which means on your application, you have the option to select if you want to submit a test score or not. If you are not submitting a test score, you'll just notify us of that. Your application, essay, and transcripts are all you will need to complete your application. If you are submitting a test score, you'll send that in for admission consideration and we'll consider you for that. If you are an international student, we do require an English proficiency. That can be submitted through the TOEFL, IELTS, ACT, SAT, or Duolingo. So you have all of those different options. In the test optional world, please know that you can be considered for all of our academic programs, our scholars, honors and scholar programs, as well as our scholarships. And we'll get into that in a little bit. So you will not be, nothing will happen if you don't submit anything. You'll be considered for the same considerations. In addition, we do have a couple items that we recommend that you submit, but they are not required. So that would be letters of recommendation. We do encourage you to submit a resume, as well as we offer one-on-one admission interviews. We do offer them virtually, and so you can set that up, and we'll talk through that a little bit later as well. We have several different programs that have very strict deadlines. So your application for admission is your application for scholarship. We are on what we call a rolling basis. And so our priority deadline for admission is scholarship for admission is December 1st, but our strict deadline for a couple programs is physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, flight science are all a very strict December 1st deadline. All of the other programs you can apply for after December 1st. Some of our scholar programs also have a very strict December 1st deadline. They are our medical scholars program, our honors program, presidential, PA scholars, as well as pharmacy scholars. So those are the ones you have to keep in mind, that if you want to apply for any of those programs, you absolutely have to apply to SLU and then sometimes a separate application by December 1. So as I was mentioning earlier, your application for admission is your application for scholarship. You do not need to submit a test score to be considered for any of our merit-based scholarships, ranging from $8,000 to $23,000. You just want to let us know on the application that you are applying test optional so you can be considered for all of them. Your application for admission with the merit-based scholarships, you'll find out right upon admission if you receive the merit-based scholarships. We do have 2 other scholarship applications that you can apply for separately. If you're selected, you come to campus to interview. We are exploring different opportunities in case we are not able to have you to campus actually to interview, or you can interview virtually. So we are working on that. So I would encourage you, if you meet the criteria for this, to absolutely apply for both. The presidential is our premier leadership scholarship. It has a separate application deadline of December 1st. It is our full tuition scholarship, as well as our leadership scholarship, and a GPA of a 3.85. Our Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship has a GPA requirement of a 3.25. That is also a leadership scholarship, and they are looking for students that are leaders in promoting diversity and social justice. So if you qualify for both, we tell students to apply for both. You can only be selected for one to interview, but hopefully you are selected for one to interview. And the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship is due by February 1st. As I was mentioning earlier, we have several different honors and scholars programs that you can participate in. And these all kind of enhance your academic experience here at SLU. So several of them are December 1st, a couple are February 1st, and 2 are invite only. So the University Honors Program is open to all majors. So it doesn't matter if you're physical therapy, flight science, or if you are communications within the College of Arts and Sciences, you can be part of the University Honors Program. It is seminar style based classes, so they have much smaller class sizes. They also have a learning community. They have an integrated, they have specific classes that they take and all of that, as well as registering early for classes. They require at least a 3.88 GPA. The Medical Scholars Program is one of the hardest programs on our campus, as well as one of the more popular ones for people to apply for. That is an early application process to our medical school. So you'll apply to Medical Scholars. If you're accepted, your application, you'll find out in early March, and then you'll be able to apply early to the St. Louis University School of Medicine. They are looking for students that have an outstanding academic record. So they don't give a GPA, but they're looking for straight A's, particularly in math and science, in the hardest courses that your school offers. The PA Scholars is a direct entry into our PA program. Pharmacy Scholars is an early application process with a pharmacy school in town. Communication Science Disorders is a direct entry into our Communication Science Disorders Master's Program. Law Scholars is a direct entry into our law school. The Business Scholars is an accelerated 3-year business degree, and Accounting Scholars is a 5-year Master's of Science in Accountancy. So they are all fantastic programs, and I would encourage you to consider applying for all of them if you qualify and what your interests are. Fantastic. So a couple of important dates. So October 1st is right around the corner, which is kind of hard to believe when you think about it. And that is the deadline, or that is when the free application for federal student aid becomes available. And so that is how you apply for financial aid here at St. Louis University. November 1st, we are on a rolling basis, as I was saying. So we have already started receiving applications, and we will start releasing admission decisions and telling people that they're a Billiken come November 1st. So it is one of our favorite days in the office. December 1st is the priority scholarship deadline for PT, OT, nursing, and flight science. So if you are any of those majors, you absolutely have to apply to SLU by December 1st. Our other majors will be available after December 1st, but after that date, those majors are no longer on our application. December 1st is a strict deadline to apply for the Presidential Scholar and all of those honor scholars that I talked about. The honors and scholar applications are all available on our SLU application portal, so you'll have access to that regardless of which way you apply. February 1st is our preferred deadline for filing the free application for federal student aid. It's also the deadline for the law scholars, communication science disorders, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship. If you apply for PT, OT, or nursing, that's actually when you find out if you're in those programs. So that's also a really exciting time. Early March is when you find out if you're in the honors or scholar program. And then of course, May 1st is the national decision deadline when you let us know that you want to become Billikens.
Okay, so now that we've told you all this great information about SLU and got you so excited about coming to SLU, how can you experience more of SLU? So, I know we're going through crazy times. We have a number of options to make things more accessible to students, depending on what your comfort level is. You're going to see on this slide a couple of sites. The first one is you@slu.slu.edu. This is where you can go in and put information about yourself and get a personalized look at SLU dependent on your interest. So it's a really great way to kind of find a lot of information in one place that's really tailored to your own interests and experiences. We have a ton of virtual opportunities as well. We have virtual tours that you can participate in. We have virtual presentations with specific programs or student service areas. We have one-on-one admission interviews, meetings with counselors. So there are tons of options for you to explore virtually with SLU, and you'll find all of those at our visit website, which is slu.edu/visit. We are offering a limited number of on-campus tours. We have a lot of safety precautions in place. They are very limited due to the safety of our students and our visitors. You will find those at our visit website as well, though. So I encourage you, if you're looking for more information, looking for a deeper look into SLU, to check out that website and sign up for some things that are of interest for you. Okay, so we are going to move into some questions. We have first a question for our staff, and then we are going to move into a student panel. So if Alyssa could go ahead and answer this one for us, we'd love to hear the answer. It was asked, can you write essays for the honors or scholars programs, or is it just off of the GPA?
That's a great question. So with all of those honors and scholars programs, they do have the separate applications that have either December 1st deadline typically or February 1st. And when you're filling out the applications for those, there's an area and essay prompts. So they may have one essay prompt or 2 essay prompts in any of those honors and scholars programs. So you will be required to write a separate essay for any of the honors and scholars programs that you choose to apply for.
Awesome, thank you, Alyssa. So we are going to move now into a student panel. We have 3 of our current students with us today, so we're very lucky we're going to get to hear directly from them. I again encourage you to be utilizing that Q&A feature if you do have questions for our students, so that they can go ahead and let you know all the things that you want to know. But just to start us off, if our students could go around and introduce yourselves so people have some perspective on who you are. We'd love to hear your name, of course, your hometown and the high school that you attended, what major you are at SLU, and then what's your involvement? So what kind of clubs or activities are you guys involved in on campus? Do you want to go ahead and start us off, Ryan, and then maybe Maddie, and then Akash? Okay, perfect.
Hi everyone, my name is Brian Carey and I'm from a northern suburb of Chicago, Highland Park, Illinois, and I went to Highland Park High School. I am a current sophomore here at St. Louis University in the business school, and a few things I'm involved with on campus are Relay for Life, the University Honors Program, and Fraternity and Sorority Life.
Hi everybody, my name is Maddie. I am a current senior at SLU studying psychology with a minor in marketing. I'm from Galena, Illinois. I actually went to high school in Iowa, so I went to Wahlert Catholic High School. And then some things I'm involved in on campus. I'm part of Fraternity and Sorority Life. I'm part of the Honors Program, and I'm on the executive board for the Psychology Honors Society.
Hi everyone, my name is Akash Nagarapu. I'm a sophomore as well as Ryan, and I'm studying biomedical engineering on the pre-med track with a possible minor in healthcare ethics. I'm from Hoffman Estates, Illinois, which is a western suburb of Chicago. And some things that I'm involved in on campus include being part of an a cappella team on campus, participating in Model UN, and also some of the exec councils within our group. In addition, I'm also part of the Medical Scholars Program and the Honors Program, and I'm part of the engineering learning community.
That is wonderful. So we have our first question that came in. A student would like to know about your experiences in freshman housing. So where did you live? How did you find your roommate? What was dorm life like for you?
If you guys don't mind, I'm going to start. I lived in a learning community in my freshman year. I lived in Grand Hall in the Engineering Innovation Learning Community, which is a 6th floor Grand Hall. And I came from a high school where I was the only student coming into SLU. So that was kind of scary and daunting in and of itself because all my friends are going to different university. So making friends was probably one of my priorities coming to my freshman year. And I think it's one of the priorities a lot of freshmen have coming into school. So for me, I thought the learning community was a great way for me to get to know people with similar interests and also people who I'm going to see in class for the next 4 years. And that's exactly what happened. I came into fall welcome, which is about the first 5 days before you go into your first day of class. And there was just a bunch of activities that our great ORFLUM team puts together to kind of bring us all together. And over the course of those 5 days, I grew so close to so many different people, and I'm still best friends with some of them today. So in that sense, that was my freshman experience when it came to housing. It just kind of got better as time went by in general. And I went random. So another question people always ask me is like, how do they get roommates, or how does the roommate situation work? You can obviously choose to have your own roommate, and the ways people do that often rely on the social media outlets that we have within SLU. So we have a Facebook group. Sometimes you can even look on Instagram, and you can just reach out to different people who post there. I know a lot of people who actually ended up getting their roommates that way, and they're still roommates today. So it's really cool that they were able to find someone so quickly. I personally went random because I decided on SLU a bit late, and it was not an issue at all. I think it might have been to the benefit of having a learning community, but in general, I think housing does a great job of matching you up with someone based on your interests, because they make you do a questionnaire where you fill out kind of like, it's honestly like a dating app in a way. You just kind of fill out some stuff about you and what you would look for in a roommate. And based on that, they try to match you up with someone. They try to get you into the highest preference of housing you put into. They give you 8 whole spots to put in your preferences. So they really like try their best to put you in a place that you would thrive and you'll enjoy.
I had a little bit of a different freshman housing experience than Akash. I did not live in a learning community. I lived in the Griesbach complex, which was just the biggest freshman dorm we have on campus, and it is community style bathrooms with double rooms. So it was me and another roommate, and I ended up meeting my roommate through the Facebook group as Akash mentioned, and I just saw that we had similar interests, and she ended up reaching out to me, and we decided to live together, and housing matched us up, and we ended up in the Griesbach complex, and I decided to live in a residence hall with more community style bathrooms just because I didn't I kind of wanted to experience the community style bathrooms my freshman year.
I can talk a little bit too about my housing experience freshman year. I too lived somewhere different. I lived in Spring Hall. I absolutely loved living in Spring Hall. I actually lived there again my sophomore year. But I lived in a learning community. I was in the honors learning community. And then I met my roommate through a group me through our floor or through the learning community. We were all kind of put in a little group message, and she private messaged me and said that she was looking for a roommate. We seemed kind of similar. We kind of interacted a little bit, so worked out really well. And then we lived in like a double suite style room. So we actually had 2 suite mates. There were 4 of us total. And it was a great way right off the bat to make friends, since there were kind of 4 of us right there from the first day of freshman year.
Great answers. Just a reminder for everyone attending, please put your questions in the Q&A feature so we can get to them. Our next question is about experiential opportunities on campus. So have any of you guys gotten involved in research? Have you done any internships, used career services at all? Could you talk a little bit about those experiences?
I can start. So I'm currently actually doing an internship with the Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis. I started this semester, and I'm able to use that as my senior capstone. So it's like my big senior project. I'm really excited and very thankful that I was still able to do like a virtual internship with everything going on. But I actually filled out like a survey through our like service office, and they matched me up with a couple of organizations based on what I was interested in doing, the kind of volunteering and the population I wanted to work with. And then from there, I reached out to the Down Syndrome Association and was able to kind of talk to people and interview a little bit, and then get a programs internship. So I'm able to use that as a class, as my senior project. It's really exciting for me, but there's lots of different internship opportunities being in St. Louis. There's so many different areas. I know even like in my marketing courses on the business side of things, all my professors have been really well connected in St. Louis. So they've always offered opportunities for internships. I just had this one for my psychology senior project, but lots of great experiences living in a city.
I had a similar experience, although a bit different about how I got approached about stuff. So I'm from the biomedical engineering, biotech, pre-med kind of side. And I know that's something that's really important to students who are pre-med or pre-health, because that's what graduate schools look for and engineering positions look for opening jobs. And for me, I had a bit of trouble trying to find some programs, especially going into the summer of my freshman, sophomore year. Obviously, that was ruined because of COVID, so that's a different issue. But that last year, there are a few different resources that helped me. The first one was definitely going through career services, because they helped me figure out how to adjust my resume from a high school to a collegiate professional type of resume. And there were so many things that I never even knew that they taught me, especially about writing and how to present yourself in that sense. Career fairs were also a great resource. They were a little bit less important for me because I was not looking for an industrial kind of internship or job. And if you're going into business or industry, then it's more useful for you. But I was looking for more research and service oriented positions. And although I didn't find anything going into my summer, at least through SLU, I ended up getting an email from the dean of my school at Parks College. And he actually put us in touch with a program at Case Western Reserve University, where they were doing a virtual internship. This is back in June, by the way, so right after COVID had kind of terrorized our country. So they had set up a really cool internship, and a lot of students from SLU actually ended up applying. And I think we were the 3rd biggest school to represent the student body who took part of that internship. So it's almost like I got a chance to do a really cool program over the summer in the most unlikely of ways. And it's really cool that I had that. Going into my sophomore year, though, it took a lot of time to email and research about research going on here on SLU. The thing is, our campus has a lot of different research going on in a variety of studies. I mean, I know someone who's doing some studies on plants that I never even knew were things that people could like research. So that was really cool to see. I personally want to go into medicine, so I was looking on the medical campus, and it's really cool that as an undergraduate student, you could actually just take the shuttle down to the medical campus, which is just about half a mile down the road, and you can help out at a lab there. So that's what I'm doing right now. It took a while. It's definitely not something that's just given to you, but it's something that if you reach out for, you will likely get your results soon. So that's how I got involved with some programs and research right now.
So this semester in the business school, I'm taking a course called Business 3000 Career Foundations. And it is typically a sophomore, junior level class. And the main goal of the course is to make sure that as a business student, you have your resume completed, you create a LinkedIn, you create a Handshake account, and the class really tries to connect you to all sorts of different employers, and it's really focused on networking, and they want to make sure that you have everything completed, and that's why they designed a specific course for it to allow you to have the time within your school day to get the networking done and make sure if you want an internship for the summer or for the fall, you can find one.
Wait, really quick note. I'm glad you mentioned Handshake because that's something that's really important and was really useful, at least for me and a lot of students that I know. It's kind of like I don't have a good metaphor for this one, but it's kind of like a LinkedIn, but for within the collegiate environment.
My next question that we have is one close to my heart. What is your favorite place to eat, either on campus or near campus?
I can start. My favorite place to eat is called Crazy Bowls and Wraps. It is actually on Wendell, right behind DeMatteis Hall, which is our residence hall for fraternity and sorority life. So it is basically, it feels like you're on campus and they serve bowls, salads, wraps, and all of those things. So I love to walk over there for lunches.
I can go next. On campus, my favorite place to eat is probably Amarin Cafe. It's in the business school. There's like wraps, salads, sandwiches. It's all really good. And the grilled cheese used to be like $3. So I'd go there all the time for the grilled cheese. They just raised the price. And I'm like confident it's because I ordered so many grilled cheeses. And then off campus, there's so many great places. But I really love Mission Taco. I just went there recently. They have all sorts of really good like street tacos. So that's a favorite of mine.
I'm someone who loves food, and I thought I would have the freshman 15 be something for me, but luckily it wasn't. But on campus, other than Amarin Cafe, my favorite spot to go is Fresh Gatherings, and that's near the medical school. And then off campus, I think my favorite place would be Fitz's. And if you're someone from St. Louis, you'll know what Fitz's is. So if you're not from St. Louis, I urge you to come here so you can find out.
That's great. I'm so jealous of all that food right now. Okay, so we have time for one more question. So just to round us out and end the night, if you guys could tell us about either your favorite memory while you were on campus at SLU, or what is most special to you about St. Louis University.
I think I can start with this one. I think one of my favorite memories was during my fall welcome, coming into my freshman year. All of the different floors from every residence hall that housed freshmen were gathered together, and we had to go down to the soccer stadium, and we had to watch one of our soccer team play against a team. I forgot the team who we played against. I think it was Notre Dame, but I forgot. But regardless, it was just such an amazing experience to kind of get together as a freshman class, cheering on our team. But more than that, it's like a lot of us didn't know each other because, again, this is just our fall welcome. But the Ware Orifon team just kind of catalyzed those relationships and friendships that day. Was really awesome. My team ended up winning like the most spirited award because we were the sixth grand Sixkits. I didn't really understand what our theme was, but we just kind of threw on biscuits and it was so much fun. And that was probably one of the most formational moments as a floor that we had. And that's just kind of one reason why I loved my floor back in freshman year.
One of my favorite memories was actually with my freshman floor last year as well. We do these things throughout the semester, just that they act as floor bonding and there are different activities. So my RA planned a sort of late night breakfast for us, and we got to cook it in the Grease of that kitchen. So everyone from my floor gathered together, and we made eggs, pancakes, and bacon at like 10 o'clock at night on a school night. And it was just great to really hang out with the entire floor at once. And yeah.
And just to wrap it up, I guess looking back, like as a senior, this is kind of a fun question, but I will say something that sets SLU apart is the people. Such a welcoming like student body we have. The students, the faculty, everyone is so welcoming and shares this like Billiken pride. And so I would just say pretty much any memory I have on campus, I know it's super cheesy and like cliche, but just like sitting out on our clock tower, which is kind of the central hub of campus with friends, just like sitting there and seeing other people walk by and waving and seeing students like laughing or smiling on their way to class. Those memories are kind of ones that I'll probably cherish as I graduate and go on. So I just say like any of those small moments just that set SLU apart as being such a strong community.
That is so wonderful. Thank you, all three of you, so much for your participation today. We love our students. You guys are such great representatives, and we really appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with some housekeeping announcements, but just a reminder, you can go to slu.edu or slu.edu/visit to find more opportunities to find more about SLU, and we really appreciate you guys being here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick for our final announcements. And here we go. Okay, so thank you guys again for joining us. Whenever you close out of this window, there is going to be a link to a super quick 4-question survey. We would really appreciate the feedback that you can provide. This was just, again, one of many sessions being hosted through Illinois Association of College Admission Counseling. You can sign up for additional sessions at IACAC.org. And in about a week, you can also find a recording of this session as well as all of the other sessions that have been presented, again, at IACAC.org. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you again soon.